Back at the institute, the four of us were inseparable: my future wife Chloe, our friends Thomas and Sophia, and me. In the early days, it was all carefree fun. Movie nights, dancing until dawn, pulling each other through endless assignments. But as time passed, things shifted. Chloe and I began seeing each other, and to no one's surprise, Thomas and Sophia did the same. The amusing part? Both couples thought we were being clever, keeping it all a secret, not realizing the others were doing the exact same thing. It all unraveled in the strangest way. We'd applied for internships and in the process discovered that both couples had picked the same wedding date, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Once the coincidence sank in, we laughed about it, deciding to double the celebration. That night at the restaurant was unforgettable, a shared toast to love, ambition, and friendship. Back then, we had towering dreams. We saw ourselves as brilliant surgeons someday, basking under the lights of operating theaters, earning the respect and admiration of our field. But life had its own plan. I stayed on that demanding path, my days and nights consumed by scrubs, emergencies, and long shifts. Chloe, meanwhile, found her passion in motherhood, devoting her heart to our daughter and our home. Thomas and Sophia took a different road, entering the pharmaceutical industry, a move that proved lucrative for them. Surgeons here are respected and well compensated, but the hours are relentless. Calls come in at midnight, during holidays and on weekends. Chloe has often complained, accusing me of being married more to the hospital than to her. Still, she knows I adore her, and I've always gone out of my way to show it, whether through travel, little luxuries, or simply time together when I could manage it. Our adventures abroad have been limited: France, Switzerland, Brazil, but they were precious. Thomas and Sophia, with more freedom, often invited Chloe to join them on trips or retreats at our countryside cottage. Sophia never cared much for gardening, but she and Thomas made the most of their weekends there with Chloe. And then came our milestone, 20 years of marriage. We planned to mark it the same way we had at the start, dining in the very restaurant where we'd once celebrated our wedding. I imagined laughter, music, and nostalgia filling the night. But life had other intentions. Just hours before the evening, I was called in. A 7-year-old boy had been in a catastrophic accident, requiring emergency surgery. Chloe's frustration was evident. She repeated the same bitter refrain, that others got to live and celebrate, while my work always tore me away. But what choice did I have? The operation dragged on for 5 excruciating hours. By the end, I was exhausted, but the look of relief and gratitude in the boy's parents' eyes made every minute worthwhile. I hurried home, showered, dressed in my best suit, and rushed to the restaurant, rehearsing tender words and apologies in my head. But when I arrived, something felt wrong. The atmosphere was muted, the lights strangely dim, the usual hum of chatter replaced with an uneasy silence. As I moved toward the coat check, ready to hang up my jacket and gather myself before seeing Chloe, my carefully planned words dissolved. There, tangled together on a pile of coats, were Chloe and Thomas, my wife and my best friend, locked in an embrace that destroyed everything in me. They didn't notice me at first. But when I saw them, it was as though 2 decades of love, trust, and shared life shattered into dust before my eyes. The pain was indescribable. On the day meant to honor 20 years of marriage, I instead discovered the ultimate betrayal. And not with a stranger, with Thomas, the person I once trusted most. The cruelty of it left me hollow. I turned and walked out, each step heavy, as though carrying the weight of my broken world. At the entrance, Chloe caught up with me. Tears streamed down her face, her words tumbling out in a desperate rush. Apologies, excuses, oaths of love, promises that it was the first and last time. But her eyes told a truth her lips couldn't conceal. Then her tone shifted, sharp and defensive. She hurled accusations at me, about my long hours, my absence, her boredom. She demanded to know what I expected her to do. Rot away in silence while I lived at the hospital. Her words landed like a second blow, crueler than the first. I exploded, my voice shaking with fury. I reminded her of everything I had given, every sacrifice, every ounce of myself I had poured into our family. And still, it hadn't been enough. I couldn't bear to look at her any longer. I left and wandered back to the only place that ever made sense, the hospital. Among the sterile halls and quiet machines, I spent the night, unable to face home, unable to face her. Now in the aftermath, forgiveness feels impossible. Trust once broken doesn't mend with empty promises or desperate apologies. It feels like a relic of a life that no longer exists. Her betrayal has poisoned every memory, every tender moment we shared. I know divorce is inevitable. What haunts me most isn't only the infidelity, but the cold, deliberate way it happened. On our anniversary, in the very restaurant where we had vowed eternal love. That cruelty feels intentional, as if fate itself conspired to dismantle my life. Betrayal doesn't fade. It lingers, reshaping the soul, hollowing out what once was love and filling it with doubt. And while I will survive, I always do, I will never be the same again.